Hello, students. This is Professor Feliciano, and I just want to explain to you Chapter 3 homework, all right? Chapter 3 homework. All right. So Chapter 3 homework is pretty easy, okay? So you have a staff paper, right? That I attached to your Moodle. Okay, so a staff paper is basically, so what is a staff paper? Staff paper is what musicians use to write music on. So on Chapter 3, I wanted you to write on your staff paper. So I'm going to write staff paper. And this is going to be on your midterm. So your staff paper, let's take the first staff. So it has 5 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? Yes? Okay. So this is called a staff paper. This is called a staff. Okay? And now, so this is 5 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 lines, and what we call 4 spaces in between the lines. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. And in these 5 lines and 4 spaces, you can put notes, right? So you can put like a note here, a note here, a note here, a note here. And even though I haven't written a clef down yet, and a clef is what tells the player, clef, tells the player what, what notes they are playing, what notes they are playing. So, I'm just switching right here. When we move over to here, so we have our staff, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are called bar lines that I'm drawing right now. So these are bar lines. BL for bar lines. Bar lines. Now, I'm going to put a treble clef staff, which is right. I'm going to put in green. Green's actually one of my favorite colors. My other favorite color is red, but I don't know why, it just is. So, you're going to put a note head. This is called a note head. On the bottom of the staff, on the 5th note of the staff. So we're going to color this in, and then I'm going to swoop up like that, down, and put another note head here. NH note head, right? Yeah. So let me make this thicker a little bit. So, now that I explained, this is a treble clef staff. So let me just write down. And this tells the player what octave or key to play in. Okay, yes. So a treble clef staff starts basically from middle C. Okay, this is middle C all the way up to C, the highest C. So it's a higher end of the register. Okay, so basically it's a higher end of the register. Now what I would like you to do is for chapter 3 homework, this is what I want you to do. This is all I want you to do on the staff paper. I want you to write a C, the ledger line C, with a note head cutting into it. This is a middle C. MC, middle C. Okay? Because it's in the middle of the piano. Okay? And then I want you to write from E, G, B, D, F. That's what I want you to write. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are my 5 lines, and the 5 lines have notes that are E, G, B, D, and F. All right, 5 lines. Now, so you're going to get that soaked in. So we're starting with middle C, and then we're going la, 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 la. Okay, so from middle C, you're going to go all the way up to F. Okay, so that's what I want you to do as part of your homework for chapter 3. Okay, now let me swoosh over here. We're going to make another staff. And then we're going to do the 4 spaces. Remember, we have our bar lines right here to separate each bar. We're going to put our treble clef right here. We can actually put bass clef, but we're going to put treble clef for now. Bass clef is going to be in a couple weeks or so. So then we're going to 1, 2, 3, 4, our 4 spaces. So our 4 spaces are going to be F, A, C, E. F, A, C, E, which is face. And that's the name of the 4 spaces on those 4 lines of the treble clef staff. So it would sound la, 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 la. La, 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 la. Or an F major chord. It could be a chord, and a chord is 2 or more notes played together or assembled together on a piano. Okay. It sounds really pretty. Okay. So I also, in accordance, so that's what I want you to do for chapter 3 homework as well. I hope this is clear. Now I also want you for chapter 4 on the staff paper still working off your staff paper for chapter 3. Okay. Notes have rhythm, okay? Notes have values, and the value of a quarter note is 1 beat. The value of a half note is 2 beats, such like that. So, I'm going to show you what the heck I'm talking about. Because in chapter 4, you are going to have to do the rhythm sheet and look at all 8 videos of my YouTube. So in chapter 3, all I want you to do is do a whole note, which gets 4 beats. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. So you're going to put another whole note. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and you could separate them with bar lines, even though there's no value. Then you're going to put a half note. 1, 2. And that's a stem right there. Stem. Okay, and I'll explain why later. This is long enough video. And then you're going to put a bar line. And then you're going to put a half note dot. And you're going to put 1, 2, 3. And then I'll explain in a minute why it's 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and all that. And then we're going to switch over here. And I'm going to draw again I'm sorry this is such a long video. My staff. And then we're going to put, what did we ended with a half note dot. Now, we're going to do a quarter note, which is filled in note with the stem. And it's 1 beat, which is 1. And then we're going to do, and then you're going to put a bar line separating. And then you're going to put a 2/8 notes, which is 1 and. And then you're going to put 2/8 notes with the bar, which is 1 and. Just put 1 and. Now, what the heck does all this mean? Why do I have to learn this? Well, this is part of music, and instead of me lecturing to you guys all the time, I want to make this fun and informative as possible, especially since I'm online and I can't see you guys. So, a whole note. We're going to start with a whole note. A whole note gets 4 beats. This is the value of 4 beats. That means you hold it out for 4 beats. That means 1, 2, 3, 4, and off. Again. 1, 2, 3, 4, and off. Half note gets 2 beats. 1, 2, and off. 1, 2, and off. And then you would do a half note dot. 1, 2, 3, and off. 1, 2, 3, and off. And we slide here. Then we do a quarter note. 1 off. Okay, 1 off. And then we do an 8th note. 1 and off. 1 and off. And then if we do 2/8 notes put together, it's exactly the same thing. I just want you to do with the bar line, or the bar connecting the 2/8 notes. 1, 2, and off. 1, 2, and off. So chapter 3 and chapter 4 are really about just starting to write music and about rhythm. And that is very important going on and being a musician. And even if you're not going to be a musician after this class, it's just really important that I teach you this stuff because it's part of the curriculum. It's interesting and it gets you out of your books. So, a whole note. Gets 4 beats. Half note. Holds. 4. 2 beats. Quarter note. Holds. 4. 1 beat. and an half note dot, holds for 3 beats. And 8th note. Did I spell that right? Holds for a half beat. And then 2 8th notes put together holds for 1 beat. Okay? So, this is what I'd like you to do for your homework for chapter 3 that I'm probably going to extend for you guys. So chapter 3 homework, write all of this video on a staff or your staff paper that I gave you on Moodle. So what you can do is, my hand's getting tired of writing. So what you can do is you could just write a separate staff like what I did. Write all the information that's on this video, write it down, and show it to me. Take a picture of it, email it to me. If you cannot do it on Moodle, please do that instead of just not doing chapter 3 and chapter 4 homework, because you will get a 0. You will get a 0. I'm being serious about this. Just because you're at home or whatever doesn't mean that you're not going to get 0s, and I can't prolong the homework longer than it needs to be. We need to move on with the course and do like the midterm, and there's a lot to cover here. So just be mindful of that. Chapter 1 and chapter 2 have been closed. I hid them after the deadline, like a little bit after the deadline, I think on that Wednesday. So if you have not done chapter 1 and chapter 2 and you have a very good reason for not doing chapter 1 and chapter 2, please email me and I will open it up for you. All right, so I'm going to slide this over here. Thank you very much. Thank you. And please follow me at Become an Artist / Professor Feliciano. Okay, on YouTube. Okay, I know I'm like a little bit of an unconventional teacher, and I do things a little bit differently, but since COVID and all that, I've had to do creative ways, and I love teaching and all that. All right, thank you so much, students. See you soon. Be well. Bye-bye.